On CBS Sports Network, the Denver Pioneer Carson Johnson, one of their leading scorers, the sophomore point guard. And we are off and running as Arizona Krivas faces the double team. A slashing Burries loses it out of bounds, and that will be a turnover. 10 on the shot clock, loose ball. Pete scoops it up down the floor, knocked free. The transition opportunity.
Go inside and punish Denver in the post.
Johnson, the drive, that's knocked out of bounds, and there's some of that. Bradley looking inside to Pete, who's carved down some real estate. Back to Burries, he'll set his feet for three, lets it fly and knocks it down. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Burries with the rebound all over the floor early on. Bradley knifing to the cup, tries to go up with the left-handed. Burke, the drive in the paint, swiped away. 11 to shoot. Here's Pete, high post. Faces the double team. Three from the corner is good. Karchen to him. And they weren't going to end the possession until he hit a three, as there's another steal. Open transition opportunity. Burries, and that is a foul on Kins.
The ball is swung. You're always trying to get that defense in recovery mode while hunting for threes.
Arizona, for as great as this start has been over these ranked opponents, they're still waiting to get a little bit more offense from Braden Burries as
full court press, and they have Pete at the top for that reason. Hello!
There's the throwdown from Pete. So the defense leads to offense. And off. Burries elevates body to body, can't get it. Ball batted around. It's a Waka that comes with it. Pocket pass to Burries. He puts it in for two. Burries, again, over the screen, is three, no good. Waka, another rebound as he rips it away, muscles his way to the cup. For the other day, 4 to shoot. Here's Nelson, can't get the hook shot. Oldham fighting for it, can't put it back in. Waka
guaranteeing that you're going to pass. If you could go break through it like Johnson did there, you got to go.
Johnson, long three sent to the floor, and a foul is
starting point guard went down, and Johnson performed really well.
Bar table with the fans sitting down now as Johnson hits 2 of 3. Offensive rebound. Double team comes. Burries thought about it. Freshman back to freshman. Back to freshman. Burries has it torn away. So Burries will head to the line. First free throw is good. How about his stuff so far? 7 points for 10 to shoot. Johnson facing 2 defenders. Kicks it over. Nelson lines his feet up for a 3 and hits it. Nelson came into this game shooting 54% from 3. Burries can't get the jumper. Aristo takes the offensive rebound and puts it in. Aristo scoops it up. Aristo kicks it out. Burries another triple. No good. And that's going to be a foul on the floor. Bradley been somewhat quiet in the early going. Orso in the paint. Picks up the dribble. Pocket pass, Krivas, nice finish. How about playing in all 36 games as a freshman coming off the bench? And he suffered a season-ending injury just 8 games into the season last year. So a huge missing. Arizona forcing the shot clock violation. Karchen, who hit a 3 earlier, whips it over to Aristode. He'll try a 3, no hesitation there, but that's off. Wysocki loses the handle, ripped away. Karchenkov in transition, splits 2, goes off the window. Their second long run of this first half already. Kinsey, stop and pop, knocks it down. Bradley sees 3 defenders, and he'll pull it out. Bradley in the paint, rises up in the silky smooth. Guards that were comfortable and patient in the paint put tremendous pressure on your defense.
Well, you know, it's not just about the scoring side of that. It's because your back's to the ball, because it's underneath the free throw line, and you're always in recovery mode all the time. You're always panicking.
Drive against Bradley. Bradley closes the gap. Rollins flips it to the corner. Year after year improvement as Bradley's now missed 3 free throws. Pete nearly put that right back in. Battles for his own board. And a kiss off the window.
Start breaking the press. Johnson needs to just get it and go. Just go.
Kinsey can't get it. This go on the road and can't really get anything going from the beginning. Still a lot of basketball left here for Denver. Just to work on what they need to do as they hit a 3. Sean Miller for a couple of years as well too. Taking constant trips overseas, finding these international players, bringing them over.
By the way, Waka filled in tremendously when Krivas went out. But right now, what I've loved when you for non-conference game when they played Delaware, is BYU gave up too many threes, and there you go. Sometimes you just got to.
His first field goal, Pete lowers the shoulder, stops on a dime, and that's what makes him so special. His fun conversation about this, but I think we came to a consensus that he fits sort of a Carlos Boozer mold, and
game, especially inside of 17 feet because of his physicality and his base.
Burries hits the three. Lloyd said what makes him special as well is the combination of mobility and size that he has as Johnson hits the scoop shot. Johnson, long contested three, knocked to the floor. Sometimes it's about the matchup you get in the tournament as well, too. They ran into Houston one year when they had a pretty good squad. Burries no good on the three. Aristone over to Bradley. It just opens up for him, and he flies to the cup.
National scene dropped 30. Against UCLA, it was Del Orso's turn, who had 20.
Burries at the free throw line, dumps it off Owaka. The pivot, loses it. Karchenkov scoops it up, rises right through the big way. How about the fact that Karchenkov played for Bayern Munich, as that's a tough finish from Kinsey as he rises. Lasso, who also coached on Luka Doncic. And Owaka, a feathery finish.
What's really impressive about Arizona's defense, and it's not just this game, it's been all, the start to the season, is
you're trying to hit the shot, and now you've got Del Orso that took a hard shot. He's back.
Really awkward fall.
Not a typical yoga position as Nelson hits the. Burry, strong drive to the paint, gathers, and he is fouled as he goes.
Those guys start shooting the ball well to where they're around 35%. You think of how much more open you're.
Burry's with the free throw, and during that, community college says he wants to open a few barber shops once his basketball career ends. Not just one, but in the paint. Kicks it over to Nelson. There's a shoe on the floor as Karchenkov goes up. Here's Berg, nearly poked away from behind. Fades away at the free throw line. Tough shot. Skips out. Karchenkov inside. Owaka spinning against Malang. Takes the contact. And that chance at high-low so frequently. Wysocki dumps it off, and that's going to be Burries eyes the shot clock. 6 to shoot. Karchenkov off balance, somehow slithered. Leading scorer for the Pioneers was Nelson with 10 points. Shot clock at 6. Burke going up with the right hand roll. Arizona, they vaulted up to number 2. The most recent poll as Burries rattles home the J. All right now.
And completely dominated all 3 of those teams in the paint. You mentioned that UConn win.
4.
Yeah.
And now they're number 2 in the nation. You've got Houston, BYU, of course, Texas Tech is John.
Excuse me, today, Houston had to beat Syracuse in overtime. Iowa State with a nail-biting tough.
Rollins with a nice 3. They've already have 7 points. It took them nearly 5 minutes of action as we pause. We mentioned the athleticism, the bounce, the size for Pete. Johnson contested 3. He splashes that in the adage. Let's start the second half tied 0-0. Let's see if we can compete with them here in the second half here as we come in here with it being a bye game essentially. Take a loss and not have anything to take with you the rest of the season, as that's a nice drive team. 1967 against New Mexico. Last time
against one of the best teams in the country, and then you need to continue to expand upon that. So it sounds obvious.
That was one of the things that Karchenkov brings to this team is his ability to put the ball on the floor, and then we have an illegal screen from Wysocki. Pete trying to get it, loses it. Burke the dish. Wysocki comes in with a 2-handed slam. They're a little rattled coming out the gate.
I think one of the more surprising stats in this game is that Denver has 9 offensive rebounds.
With Pete on him, seeing a lot of switching at times from Arizona. Wysocki, strong take, falls to the floor, and he'll head to the free throw line.
No question. And Coach Bert Strasser was great at Minnesota State Moorhead, went to recruit to Denver. It's about high character guys who are tough. He said he just wants tough look, though. And Denver, if you watch their offense now in the second half, they've been doing a lot of dribble handoff action. Drop. Let's see how many DHOs we get here.
Johnson fading away. His
Wow.
two is pure in Denver. Bradley. Karchenkov, the drive, up and under, a little English. Hustle.
Here's Carson Johnson pulling up in the mid-range. Tough fade away.
Burke whips it over. Kinsey. Step back from the baseline, skips off the rim. Krivas for a can.
Yeah.
To make Tommy Lloyd's life easier. I mean, what a dream.
Incredible.
To coach. There are every single coach. Now Arizona brings it back down the floor. Starter still in this game. And the three is buried. Aristode connects on one. Three is good for Bradley.
The offense is something that's going to be the bread and butter for Arizona this season's play for Denver.
Pete back on the floor. Size advantage. Rises up. Gets so much hang time on those turnaround jumps. Del Orso crossover. Oh, he left him in the desert, but can't hit the three.
Oklahoma State and Kansas State are far and away better than where they were last season. Cal, Mississippi State just lost a really tough nail biter. Nebraska by 1 point. They've got Indiana tomorrow. I think that day
That is shooting 4 of 6 from 3 here in the second half after going 2 of 10 in the first half. Nelson tries to go up. Ricky foot race, Owaka prowling from behind. He'll just give it up as Nelson gets the easy lay-in. To execute much better. Here's the drive. Burries! Oh! In the McHale Center after Burries throws it down. Nelson tries to get it to Malang. He can't chase it down, but Mike, that is what. Pete spins, falls down, body's falling. Burries scoops it up, hits the three. Creates the dribble, nearly loses it on the sideline. Strong take with the left. Rollins trying to find the angle, and that's a foul on Pete.
opens his game up.
And that was one aspect we were wondering about with their paint. Obviously, still a lot of finesse on offense to go with it, but they have so much more physicality. Aristode from outside, and Los Angeles and San Diego and the Bay Area during some of the winter months, as opposed to some of the Dakotas that they are going to this year. As Johnson rolls it out, the physicality that we're seeing this year from Arizona is going to serve them the best in the tournament. As Owaka shows you right there.
Heck, and there's going to be 1 or 2 other surprises, I think. I mean, potentially even Kansas State, even Oklahoma State.
A double-double on the evening, off the bench as well, too. Nice backdoor cut and finish. Josh Lee, the sink. Lee spinning, nearly lost it. Burke, baseline drive, and that's a foul on the floor. To the bench here for Arizona. Evan Nelson back in the game for the first time this evening. It almost gives you a blueprint for, hey, this is how a physical basketball team at the elite level plays. How can we best mirror this in the rest of our season?
When did we match the physicality? And it's not even has to be about baskets. It's about defensive possession. Like where you can, I think when you think about physicality in college basketball right now, just in the last couple of years, it's huge. But everything you're describing is at the forward position of when you were playing at Oregon. But so physicality from a guard standpoint, building, they were incredible. And A.J. Debonsa is just all that's advertised and more, and they have elite role pieces.
Here's Arnold back over to Aristode. Aristode stumbling to the cup, loses the handle. Aristode at the free throw line and kind of gets lost in the shuffle with Burries and Pete.
Yeah, Brewster Academy just due to an injury. I was reading about Aristode preparing for this game. He speaks.
Future pros for the Wildcats running up and down the floor, making everything, as that's another nice bucket for Josh Lee.
How'd you do against Hassan Adams?
Well, Not as good as I hoped I would.
Pause, a long pause in your just haven't seen this season. Making 11 threes. Not quite sure how you stop this offense.
Arnold for three, high arcing tray, bounces up you last year in close one.
Yeah, and that's when BYU was unranked for briefly, but that's like losing to a top 15 team. Role players that have to run scout team. You have to know the scout team in and out, and you have to know your plays inside and out. A little Cooper flag, I believe.
There you go.
Danbridge
gets behind. Led from wire to wire. They were never threatened, and the #2 team in the nation. Up with one of the players as the Wildcats are victorious at home.